Today, we're diving into something really cool, a question that's right at the edge of AI research. How do we get an AI to do more than just answer questions? How do we teach it to actually think ahead, to plan, and to act in a world as messy and complicated as ours? You've probably felt this yourself, right? You ask your AI assistant to do something that seems simple, like plan a multi-city trip or manage a project with a few moving parts, and it just hits a wall. It can tell you the capital of Kyrgyzstan in a nanosecond, but it can't handle a simple to-do list that changes. Why is that? Well, here's the heart of the problem. When a single AI model tries to do everything, it gets completely tangled up. It's trying to figure out the big picture strategy, the what to do, at the exact same time it's trying to figure out the tiny, nitty-gritty details, the how to do it. Researchers call this cognitive overload. The AI essentially gets lost in the weeds and forgets what it was trying to accomplish in the first place. So how do we solve this mess? A team from UC Berkeley and the University of Tokyo came up with a really elegant solution. It's a framework called Plan and Act, and the core idea is brilliant in its simplicity. You don't use one bot, you use two. You split the job up. Think of it like this. Trying to use a single AI for a complex task is like asking an architect to also lay every single brick on a construction site. They're going to get so focused on the mortar and the trowel that they completely lose sight of the overall blueprint. The plan and act approach says, hold on, that's inefficient. Let's separate those jobs. And it boils down to two simple steps. First, you have a specialist called the planner. Its only job is to think, to create the high-level strategy. Then you have another specialist, the executor. Its job is to take that plan and, well, execute. It carries out the specific low-level actions needed to make the plan happen. So you end up with the planner, the architect, the strategist with the clipboard, thinking about the big picture. And then you have the executor, the builder, the doer with the gears, who's just focused on the immediate task at hand. This division of labor, this is the secret to getting things done without confusion. Okay, so here's a look at how that actually flows. It all starts with your request, your query. That goes straight to the planner, which thinks for a second and comes up with a high-level plan. That plan is then handed to the executor, which takes the first step, say clicking a button or typing into a search bar. Now, here's the most important part. Whatever happens next, the result of that action is fed right back to the planner. The system sees what changed and can adapt on the fly. Let's use a real example from the paper to see how powerful this is. Imagine you tell the AI agent, follow the top contributor of this GitHub project. It's a simple request, but it's not a one-step command. The AI has to figure some things out first. So the planner gets to work. It creates a very logical, high-level plan. Step 1, go to the contributors page. Step 2, figure out who the top person is and follow them. But notice something really important here. The plan is still abstract. It doesn't know the contributor's name yet. Now, the executor steps in. It takes step 1 of the plan and clicks the contributor's link. The page loads and boom, new information is now visible on the screen. The system sees that the top contributor is someone named John Doe. A rigid, static plan would fail right here. But this is where the magic happens. The system does what the researchers call a dynamic replan. The new information, the name John Doe, is fed back to the planner. The planner then updates the strategy. That vague, abstract step of identify the top contributor is instantly replaced with a super specific, actionable command, follow John Doe. Now the executor knows exactly what to do next, no guesswork needed. So this system of planning and acting is clearly powerful, but it begs a huge question. How on earth do you train an AI to be a good planner in the first place? You can't just tell it to be strategic. The researchers had to come up with another really clever idea, which they called their secret sauce. And that secret sauce is this: a fully automated pipeline that can generate enormous amounts of high-quality training data. This is a game changer because it completely bypasses the need for humans to sit there and manually write out thousands of examples, which is incredibly slow and expensive. Here's the 3-step recipe. First, they let a very capable teacher AI go out and successfully complete a bunch of tasks, creating a record of all its actions. Second, and this is the genius part, they use another AI to look at those successful actions and basically reverse engineer the high-level plan that must have led to that success. And third, they take those high-quality reverse-engineered plans and use them as inspiration to generate thousands of new, slightly different examples, creating a massive and diverse data set for training.
All right, so the theory is solid, the training method is super smart, but we got to ask the ultimate question. Does it actually work? Let's check out the numbers.
The results are, well, they're pretty spectacular. This chart shows you the performance on a tough benchmark for web tasks called Web Arena Lite. You can see the baseline models really struggle to get things right, but once you bring in the full plan and act framework, the success rate just skyrockets. It's not even a close race. So what's the final score? A massive 57.58% success rate. Now, to put that number in perspective, that baseline agent we just saw was struggling to get over 10%. This isn't just a little bump in performance. This is a giant leap forward that set a whole new state-of-the-art record on this benchmark. But wait, it gets even better. They tested it on another benchmark, Web Voyager, which uses live, real-world websites, not just a controlled environment. And there, the success rate climbed to an incredible 81.36%. This is so important because it proves the plan and act framework isn't just a fragile lab experiment. It's tough, it's robust, and it works out in the wild. So let's step back and put this all together. What are the big, important takeaways from this research that really move the needle for AI? There are 4 huge lessons here. 1. Separating planning from acting is, without a doubt, a better way to build these kinds of agents. 2. That synthetic data pipeline is the engine that makes it all possible at scale. 3, and this is my favorite part, a good plan is so powerful it can dramatically improve the performance of an executor that hasn't even been trained yet. It proves that strategy really is half the battle. And finally, the whole system is modular. You can upgrade the planner or the executor separately, which makes it much easier to keep improving things over time. Now, of course, no research is perfect. The authors are really open about one of the main limitations here. Right now, the system replans after every single action. That's what makes it so adaptive, but it can also be a little inefficient. A great next step would be to teach the executor to know when it's in trouble and needs to ask for a new plan. And that idea of what's next brings us to the final, really mind-expanding question that this research leaves us with. We've just seen how we can teach an AI to take a goal and brilliantly follow a plan to achieve it. But that goal, that initial plan, still comes from us, from a human. So what's the next grand challenge? Maybe it's this. Can we teach an AI not just to follow a plan, but to dream one up all on its own? To see a problem and create a novel solution from scratch? And that's a question I want to hand over to you. If you had an AI planner this capable, what real-world, complex problem would you give it? Drop your most creative ideas in the comments below. Seriously, I love reading them, and I really believe we all learn and get better when we explore these ideas together. If this explainer sparked your curiosity and left you feeling inspired, that's what VibeDoc is all about. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on creating the space with us, where we can make sense of the world in a way that feels clear and positive. Thanks for joining me, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.